for a couple of weeks, I got a great guest for you. And that's why she's sitting here. So Jenna is an award-winning author, 5 children's books. All children's books? I shouldn't say it. 5 books.
Yeah, they're YA is what they would be
classified
as.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Man, I mean, saying a children's book to a YA, to a young adult would be bad news, eh? So what is the age for YA? What age is that run?
YA, it's usually 12 to 18, although statistically more women in their 30s read YA than actual teens.
No way.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Okay, that is very interesting.
But the YA is 12 to 18, middle grade is kind of, ages 8 to 12, and then children's is below that.
Oh.
And then there's new adult.
A new adult? What's that?
New adult. That one's new. That's like 18, 19, 20, 21 kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so child is up till 12 then? Is that what child is?
Children's is up to like age 8, and then they're in the middle grade.
Middle?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's
things have gotten a lot more complicated than my day.
No kidding.
You had the Babysitters Club, you had Nancy Drew, you had the Hardy Boys, Sweet Valley High. There you go.
Exactly.
That's about it.
So that is a lot more complicated. And we're just chatting about that she won the Moonbeam Award in 2019, and now another award last week.
Yeah, Literary Titan.
Literary Titan. And so these aren't Alberta specific awards; these are like worldwide. She's like a big talent around here. So, can I still call you just Jenna? Is that okay? Or do I have to say Ms. Green or anything like that? Or?
No, that's
fine. Okay. All right.
Hey, you. That's what my husband would call me. So that's fine.
So, and you're also a teacher.
Yeah, Fleur's that's why I know Fleur. She's my new agent or marketer or biggest fan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's excellent. And what grades do you teach?
1 through 8 right now.
1 through 8. Oh, right. You're in the same school as Fleur is, little school.
Yeah.
Like a rural school. So.
It's still a big change for me though, because I taught middle school, grade 6 only, for about 11 years. And now my homeroom is grade 1, 2.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So, but they're not actually that different. They're shorter, but they still pretend to be dinosaurs most of the time. So it's about the same.
It all works. So it's no problem for you. So
reading level's a bit different. Other than that, it's about the same.
So this book, the one that you won all the awards for, is called Reborn.
Yeah.
I did not read it. I didn't look. I know. No. I'm sorry.
Neither is my husband.
Yeah.
He read the back cover.
Well, that was something, I guess.
And the front cover.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Just to kind of commiserate with you, I do this singing show. My wife never watches it, right? Like never watches it. So, but then it's basically like, I don't know, 5 nights a week kind of a thing I do it, but it's not her thing. So, not your husband.
My husband doesn't read, he doesn't write, but he listens to all my podcasts.
Ah.
He does not know what I'm talking about in any of them, but he says he's a good husband and he listens to all of them.
Nice. What's his name?
My husband? Scott.
Yeah. Scott, well done, sir. Nicely done. So, Reborn. I was thinking, is this like kind of like somebody found Jesus kind of a story? Is that what it is, or why is it called Reborn?
So in this book, anyone that has marks on their skin is said to be reborn, and so they've had previous lives.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, then that's a privilege that other people don't have. So they're slaves to the once-borns who have only had one life. Okay. So to make their lives easier, the people that have had more than one life have to be slaves. So it centers around a girl named Lexel. She turned 16. She's what's known as a late bloomer. So her marks just appeared. Her brother sells her into slavery, and but we don't know if there's truth to that.
Okay.
Has she lived previous lives, or is it just an excuse to enslave a group of people?
Right.
So you have to read the book to find out.
Got it. Okay, interesting. And the once-borns, they're like the pure ones. They have no marks.
No marks.
So they're clearly the superior human beings. Mm-hmm. They see,
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Inspired by my freckles a little bit.
Oh, I see. That's part of your creative process, eh? Nice. And so, all of the books, when you market them, then do you do that directly, or do you have what's the term? It's self-published, or you have an agent that sells books for you?
I'm an indie author,
right?
Which can mean a couple things. You could be self-published, you could be hybrid, you could be with a small press. I do have one that is self-published. It was with a publishing house that closed,
Okay.
Out of Toronto. But no, I'm small press. So my Imagine series, there's 3 books in that series. Imagine, Reality, Heritage, and eventually there'll be a 4th if I ever get around to writing it.
Nice.
And so that's through Champagne Books, which was originally out of High River, but now it's out of the States. And then Reborn is through Foundation Books, which is out of the States as well.
Okay. And these are small press printers, which means just the size of
They're
volumes?
not the big 5.
Right, okay.
They're not Penguin or HarperCollins or,
Okay, so I published a book once. I ended up just paying for it, is what I did, and then I would sell it. That's not how you do it?
No.
A small press, they are taking on the risk to market it because they believe in your work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to submit it, and get rejected a couple million times. And then, you find a publisher that believes in it, and then you go from there. And they help you with, when you're an indie author, half the marketing you do, half they do. Because you just need, but I have a publicist now. His name's Mickey Mickelson. He's from Saskatchewan. He's got Creative Edge Publicity. So he's been helping me the last couple years.
Oh, okay.
And trying to get more stuff going.
Cool.
Because it's easier for someone else to reach out about you than for you to brag about yourself.
Right.
Because it's awkward and weird, and I don't like doing it.
Got it. So he's your front man. He goes ahead of you and says, Jenna, buy her stuff. She's awesome.
Yes, he does.
That's great. There was like a Seinfeld episode once where I think Jerry had somebody was doing that for him, following him around everywhere, and yay, Jerry, good job. So that'd be an interesting job.
Well, I don't know if Mickey would get a sandwich board and a bell, but
he wouldn't do that. No.
No, I could probably get my kid to.
She
can't read yet, so.
Your daughter?
Yes.
4.
4, yeah. So she can't read yet.
Got it.
She tries reading my books, but she doesn't know why they don't have pictures, and she thinks it's stupid.
Oh my goodness.
So where are the pictures?
Well, they must have some pictures in your books, no?
On the front.
On the front. Well, okay, the market. The market wouldn't be a YA market is not. That's not. But tell me more about why it is YA market and 35-year-old
women?
Yeah, 35-year-old women. How is that?
Because we want to relive our youth. I don't know.
It works anyways. You just know this is true.
I just know this. I read a lot of YA. I love it.
Do you?
How can you not love Hunger Games, Divergent?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You love them.
All right. Excellent. All right. Cool. So 5 books, and then so when is this? Is this the goal that you're just going to write full time? Like you've got no shortage of ideas, obviously. So is this going to turn into your vocation as well?
Awards don't pay anything, and my last royalty check was like $107. So I'm gonna go with it's not gonna be a full-time thing anytime soon.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
I know a literary agent out of Okotoks. Her name's Naomi Davis, and she has all sorts of clients. She only knows like 2 of them that can write full-time.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, unless you're Stephen King, it's not gonna happen. Probably.
Right. Yeah. So would it be fair to call your work artisanal as well? Is
that
a fair statement? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I read a book by, what's that guy's name? Guy Kawasaki. Have you heard of this guy? Anyways, he was the chief evangelist for Apple for a period of time. And so anyways, he had a thing about publishing your own book. And so I just read that and then, so I tried it. And that was his thing. It was about referencing your work as artisanal work. It's not like, somebody getting paid huge money. It's a craftsman cranking out their work, sitting at the keyboard and punching it out, that kind of thing. So
diligence.
Yeah. Diligence, exactly. Diligence. And when you sneak away to do your you don't write in the closet, you do your podcast.
I do my podcast in my closet. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I write in wherever.
Wherever? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you set a time for it or when the muse strikes you?
My goal is to open my laptop almost every night.
Okay.
I dance Mondays, so that's out, and Fridays I'm pretty tired. So we aim for 5 days a week, and I don't push it. Like I know there's a lot of writers that say I have to write 2,000 words today.
Right.
I don't like that because you might get to your word count, but 1,000 words of it might be crap.
Right.
So I just sit and I open my laptop and I write. And some nights I'll write 5 pages, and some nights I'll write 5 sentences, and I'll be like, it's not happening. And I don't put a lot of pressure on myself.
Sure.
I don't go, well, that's all you got? Yeah, that's all I had tonight. I was tired.
Right.
I have marking to do, or my kid had nightmares, or I'm just not feeling it.
Right.
I just don't push it. and it works best.
I mean, really, your goal for doing it isn't this going to be your career? Isn't that going to be your replace your income? It's because you love doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just.
And I want to share my story, and I want to be successful.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to work teaching part-time one day.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking of the long goal in the long run. Like, I'll publish a book with a small press, and then I'll publish another book series with like a bigger press. Like a bigger small press.
Right.
Or, I'll win an award here, and then maybe one day I'll get an agent, and things like that. So I'm always playing the long game.
Gotcha.
And I know that I got a long way to go, but I've already come pretty far already.
Nice.
So
how long have you been writing now?
Well, I've been writing my whole life.
Right.
And I tried poetry for years. I would say a good decade, and they were like, "You're too prosy, you're too wordy." It took me about 10 years to be like, "Oh, I should write novels."
Okay.
And so my Imagine book, I actually wrote that one in university.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but it didn't get published till 2015 because it just wasn't ready. I had to get better at writing, so I wrote it. Then I scrapped it, and then I rewrote it, then I scrapped it, and then I rewrote it.
Okay.
And that's how I got better at writing.
When you say scrapped it, like press delete, gone, you started all over? No. You really? That's the way you did it?
Same story.
Yes.
But just then I told it better.
Told it better. And you just started from, in the beginning, this is what happened, you started the whole thing right over.
Yeah. I don't have to do that anymore, though.
No, you don't?
No.
Because you're better now, because your skills have improved. So
even when I send stuff to my editor, like the first time, and it comes back and everything is highlighted except the word "the" on page 17, and you're just crying your eyes out when they're like rewrite entire chapters or cut entire chapters, and you're bawling in your bathtub trying to like. Now I'll send it, and it's a lot better.
Oh,
right, because I've gotten better. I can edit better. I can write better. I know pacing better. I've learned so much along the way in the last 5-6 years. So, I mean, I still get edits and there's still things to work on, but it goes a lot quicker.
Okay, so did you get better just from continuing to try it and do it, or did you have like other courses or instruction or a mentor that you had to guide you along the way, or how did that work?
No courses, but I would work with editors.
Right.
And they would say, this is wrong and here's why. And I'd be like, ugh. And I used to be like, I used to really struggle with editing because I didn't want to get rid of anything.
Right.
Because everything took so much time back then.
Right.
And the sentence was so pretty.
Right.
And my editor would be like, but you don't need it. I'm like, but it's pretty. So, but you don't need it. I was like, but it's pretty. And so she told me if you have to delete sentences, paragraphs, whole chapters, save them in a different file. You can use them as like blog posts and marketing things, and they're not really gone.
Right.
And I never used any of it because it was gone and I didn't need it. Now I'm ruthless. I'm like cut.
Are you really? Eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it got a lot better.
So then when it gets to the editor, this is 90%. We need to make this little tweak.
Well, I have an English degree. I taught middle school language arts for 11 years. I know my grammar. Mm-hmm. So it's really about things like character or pacing and things like that I can't get distance from.
Okay.
You need someone else.
You need somebody else to see.
You need someone else to be like, I don't get this part.
Right.
Well, I explained it.
Right.
So what needs to be explained better so that they get it? Someone that isn't inside my head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. And is pacing is how fast or how slow the stories move.
Yep.
Is that what pacing is?
Yep.
Okay. Right. And then it doesn't have to be consistent. The pace isn't consistent throughout the whole story, is it? It's going to vary.
Could you imagine like a movie like that where everything is like the jumps? You just have a heart attack. Boy, don't do that to people. No, you got to have the soft moments with enough action moments to keep them reading. You want to start a chapter on a bang. You kind of want to end it on a cliffhanger. And there's a whole lot of balls in the air with this whole writing thing.
Right.
I should take up actual juggling.
Actual juggling?
That might be easier.
That might be easier than writing. So what is it you normally? Well, you told me already that you read the young adult.
I read everything. But
do you? Okay.
Yeah, I taught middle school. I read everything they did.
Right.
I would give them books. That was part of my job, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they would loan me books, and it was great. Kind of miss that.
Yeah.
But now I teach mostly the grade 1, 2. So they're 6 and 7, and my daughter's 4. So now I'm all into the picture books.
Okay.
And now I can tell people I read like 30 books a day.
Exactly.
And I'm not lying.
Exactly. So, ooh, she's a genius. Well, that's very cool. Okay, that's very interesting. So you do this. Now, the last publisher was a small press, but a bigger small press, or just a bigger small press? This is going with the world according to Jenna, how it's supposed to happen, eh?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. And then
and we'll get to a medium small press. And
right.
You never know.
All right. And do you identify these in advance, like who you're meeting? Oh, okay.
Someone took me and I went, "You're good." You get so many rejections as an author. Anyone that's like, "Hey, we're interested," you just, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
I think there's a couple famous author quotes. I think it's Ray Bradbury, and he says, "You're not a real author until you can cover an entire wall
with rejections,
with your rejection letter." And I think Stephen King says if you need a 6-foot stake, and you just put your rejections on it, and then if it fills up the whole stake, you just get an 8-foot stake instead.
Sorry.
Yeah, and that's what writing is. It's like acting. You're gonna get thousands and tens of thousands, millions of rejections. That's just part of it. And it's not always about your writing though. Like, you might have a great story, but the market's got too many of those stories.
Right.
Or that publisher has too many of that stories, or they were in a bad mood when they read it. And so once you gotta have a really thick skin, and once you get to a certain caliber of writing, then you just have to find the right market at the right time and kind of know that that's part of it.
Got it. Right. Timing, and just like that you're there at the right place, the right time, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, when the Twilight stuff came out, you could write a vampire book and anyone would take it.
Right.
Now, no.
That's kind of had its day. That course for now. 25 years from now, that'll be another.
Yeah, they cycle back.
Yeah.
Well, and Reborn is like if you're gonna subcategorize fantasy, because that's what I write, it's like a dystopian, and so that's really big right now.
Right.
Which is crazy because Handmaid's Tale on TV is all popular, but that book was written in the 80s. But it all cycles back.
Right. Is Amazon your big? Is that who sells most of your stuff, most of your books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That would be logical, right? So yeah. And there's no do you like paper copies? Do you sell many paper copies? Probably not.
Not in the time of COVID.
No, not at all, right?
I just don't have the time.
Okay.
I feel like I have other authors that do school visits and things, but I work in a school. Yeah. So, I should be at my job. And also, I feel a little iffy marketing to students I teach. That seems like a little dicey. And then to spend weekends going to trade shows and Comic-Cons and markets, that's time with my kids. So it does work for a lot of people. Right. It just doesn't work for me. Got it. I mean, I have committees I'm on, I have meetings, I have teams that I coach, there's just only so much time, and it's just a lot easier to send a tweet out than go drive 4 hours for a conference and maybe sell 3 books.
That is a fact, yes. Yeah. What do you coach?
Dragon Boat.
Dragon Boat?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm the coach for the YWCA Wise Women team.
The Wise Women team? Yeah. Oh, interesting. So, this is where you don't compete just here in Dragon Boat, you do the circuit when it runs, right? Is that correct?
I tend to just coach for the Lethbridge Festival, but I have another team that I founded years and years ago called the Lethbridge Leftovers. We travel. We've gone to Vegas. Okay. And, around Canada and things. We were just one of my volunteer gigs is with the Rotary, and so we were just chatting today actually about the future of how's this going to work in COVID times, right? And it's now, I guess, basically we would have to have by January of 2021, we'd have to know that we're good to kind of proceed with the event for June, right? We'd have to have that kind of lead time, right? It really hurt my soul when it got canceled. Totally understandable. Yeah. But it would have been my 18th year in the festival. Yeah. Oh, wow. Because I started paddling the second year of the festival. Did you? Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so 2021 will be the 20th year of the festival. Right. And if they have to cancel, yeah, that'll hurt my soul.
I can understand that. It's been interesting times. Is there any, with the whole COVID thing, has there any been things that were beneficial for you? You said, "Ooh, wow, I didn't expect that. This is a good thing."
I learned that I'm an introverted extrovert, in that I have 3 friends, but I love being busy with teams and coaching and everything. And when all that shuts down, I go a little crazy. And I put googly eyes on everything and make my daughter make videos and things, which she did not enjoy. And my husband's like, just write more. I'm like, I can't write 20 hours a day. And he's fine because he hates people.
He hates people, so he's totally fine. I'll be open. Yeah.
Golfing and being alone.
So, well, and you and your daughter, of course, as well.
Yeah, yeah, but he was like, this was great. And I was like, I do not like this. And teaching really young kids through Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bunny on one time. They were showing me pictures they made.
Yeah.
It was special.
Okay, you got to be a little concerned for the health of you and your family with live classes resuming, right? I mean, that's not something...
I'm pretty pragmatic.
Are you?
I know that there are risks, but I know that there are things that are being put in place, and we're going to do our best. And, people ask me how I feel about going back, and I'm like, I don't know, my brain hasn't caught up to my emotions. My emotions are, I want to see my kids.
Yeah.
I miss my kids.
Sure.
We didn't know school was going to be canceled. It was just, you got a text and then you're like, I guess...
we're done. Stay home, yeah.
And I just want to be back with them. And if their parents think that it's not the right time for them and they want to keep them home, then that's fine.
There's going to be an upsurgence in homeschooling, no? Wouldn't you think? Like there's going to be a fair jag of people that say, oh yeah, no, we're not taking them to school, right?
Yeah, I think so. And both decisions are fair. You want to send your kid to school? Fine. If you don't want to send your kid to school, fine. It's really up to the parents, and I support them either way.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to judge. I mean, my kid's not in school yet.
Right.
So if we fast forward a year, who knows what decision my husband and I would make.
Right.
So I just know my school is going to do everything that we've been told to do and more, and we're going to do great. I'm going to put on a Princess Anna costume, and I'm going to sing like a new version of For the First Time in Forever. It's going to be great.
I love this. Okay, well, you know what's even now I'm so encouraged about too? Remember when I said that I usually sing a song? No, I didn't. We didn't say that on air, but I usually sing a song to close this out. You sing the song today.
No!
Come on, you sing. Why not? I mean, you don't have your Princess Anna costume here, but still.
I haven't written all the revamped words.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
because I'm gonna.
Okay, got it.
I do know my favorite Disney tunes. I have a 4-year-old.
Oh, yes, you would.
And there's a chance I knew all the songs before she came along anyway.
That was just preparation. That's just good parenting right there, eh?
Oh, yeah, my husband comes in and I'll be in my Snow White dress and she'll be in her Elsa dress, and he's, if he brings a buddy over and they're like, he's like, this is not even that surprising. He's like, this is just a Thursday night.
Oh, that's funny. So, teaching we talked about COVID a little bit. There's 5 books you have. First 3 are a series.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to chat about those a little bit? The first one you wrote in university,
yeah.
And then it was published 10 years later?
I want to say like 13.
13 years later?
It had to be ready.
Right.
And I had to go through the whole process of how to submit and how to, it's a lot of work. It could be like a full-time submitting things because you have to find a publisher, find their submission guidelines, and then everyone's going to be different.
Right.
So they want it formatted. I have probably 100 different versions of that manuscript formatted in different ways, like 12-point font, 14-point font, Times New Roman, Arial, with your name at the top, with your name at the bottom, with the page numbers, without the page number. They want the first 50 pages, the first 100 pages.
Really?
It is a lot of work.
Okay, so how many would you have submitted? So how many publishers would you have submitted to?
I don't know, 50, 100.
Is that right, eh?
I don't know.
Wow. And everybody's got their different thing. Just, I guess, to kind of weed out, if you can't follow the instructions, you're toast probably, right?
Yeah. That's step 1.
Yeah, okay, got it. And then the first one, when you were rejected from everybody, the first go, would that be a fair assessment?
Oh, yeah. First couple goes.
Yes. And so then when you resubmit it, you take that feedback and you change it entirely and call it a new thing, and then do it again?
Well, I think I rewrote it the first time before I ever submitted it. I just knew it wasn't ready. And then I you got a few rejections. You don't really get feedback.
Oh, you don't? It's just rejected, not interested?
No. It's very rare. In fact, how Imagine was even picked for publication is rare. They said, we'll take it, we need to shorten it, and we're going to tweak the point of view. And that's very rare. Usually they're not going to take that risk. But our publisher, Champagne Books, they were like, we do want this story, we'll just work on it.
Cool.
But that was before I knew stuff like word counts.
Oh, okay.
That's a thing.
You're
supposed to have certain word count. Like a YA book's around 60,000 words.
60,000.
If it's fantasy YA, maybe 80,000. And
Okay.
when I submitted, mine was like 150,000 words.
Really?
Because I didn't know that. I didn't take courses on writing. I have an English degree, but
sure.
They don't teach you this.
No.
I learned.
They teach you how to make pretty words and sentences and such, right? So.
Yeah, well, you learn to analyze literature.
Right.
And you write essays, but like I learned all of this in the trenches. I used to send poetry out when I was 17, and then I would get rejection before email.
Right.
With the self-addressed stamped envelopes.
For them to send the rejection back.
Yeah, so they could say you suck. But then I was like 16 or 17, and someone from a poetry journal sent it back and then explained stuff to me about how the process is supposed to work, and I don't know why he took that time.
That was very nice of him. Wow.
I kept that letter for a good decade.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. And part of his argument to you was, hey, you are prolific. You write a lot. You're not a poet.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. But that was something that you you don't know until you try it, and then you pick it up and say, oh, yeah.
No, I've learned so many things kind of on the go, what to do, what not to do, that had the internet been invented earlier, maybe I would have known earlier, but
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. So, Champagne for the first 3 books. Is that right?
Yeah,
or
that's
4?
the Imagine series, yeah.
The
I have to write the 4th.
Oh, you haven't written the 4th, right.
I'm on it.
I understand. I'm not putting any pressure on you.
Yeah, tell that to my niece.
Oh, your niece is waiting for the installment?
Yeah.
Because she's read all the other ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. She's a big fan.
Hi, Haley.
Nice. Do you have fans that contact you and say, I love what you wrote? And,
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Tell me about one of those. Things. What kind of thing? Even from Haley's, if it was Haley's comment. But
Haley just tells me to write faster.
Write faster because she wants more to read.
Yeah, and then I have a student that used to be in my homeroom. Now she's 20 or something. And I will send her stuff kind of as I'm writing.
Oh, yes.
She gets the inside sneak peek of Fleur's kids are now reading mine.
Oh, okay.
I've had them come to book signings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's just, they do that. They stand off and they stare at you for a little bit. And then they get the nerve to come and approach you. And it's just such a big moment for them. And then it makes it such a big moment for you.
Oh, yes.
As they're like, I have your book. You're here. And I'm here, and the book is here. So and I'm like that. Okay. I'm like that. I've been to conferences, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Lois Lowry. So I get it.
Nice.
But I'm an adult.
Now you're on the receiving end of that, and that's very gratifying for you when you find a fan like that, eh?
Yeah,
nice.
It's really sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh?
I need my kid to grow up, learn to read, so she can tell me,
yeah.
Needs more pictures.
So, when you have the Sweetman girls, Katrina, Sabrina, do they provide you some feedback as well? Do they say, ooh, Jenna, this character?
I've only known Fleur for about a year, and I've only known her daughters for a couple months, but they have copies now, and they're reading them, and they're helping me promote it on Instagram. They took some photos for promos that I'm going to put online, because you always need more content.
Right.
People only want so many pictures of me.
Right, okay.
And so just pictures of them reading the books and things, and they'll tag me. The whole Sweetman clan is my new.
They're pretty amazing.
They're my new marketers.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. What else do we want to talk about, Jenna?
Uh-oh. Not allowed to have dead air, are we?
No, well, it's okay. It's fine. we've had the odd time when just like, we kind of ran out of conversation. We talked about the books, we talked about the publishing, the small press, and then with the hopes of getting to a bigger press. That makes sense. I get that. You got word count figured out. You said 60,000 to 80,000 words is what you need for
YA,
for your market. But you would typically write 150.
Well, no. I learned to cut like a lot of stuff you don't need. Now I'm fine.
Okay.
I can keep to my word count. Now that I know that there are such a thing, and that those are the things you don't learn. Like when you're submitting, that you might have a terrific book, but it doesn't fit the regular word count for a YA book, or it doesn't have the right point of view. Like there's so many different things. Or if you can't it might be a great book and no one knows how to market it.
Got it. Okay.
They're like a YA science fiction romance historical western. We don't know how to market that.
Right.
We're not even going to look at it.
Right.
So you don't want to you don't want to tuck in your creativity just for marketing, but you also have to be thinking about that. You run a risk if you write something out of the norm. It might be beautiful, but you might have to self-publish it because agents won't want to take it on because they don't know how to market it.
Right. Your marketing guy from Saskatchewan. What's
Mickey.
his name? Mickey. So then how does
Well, he's a publicist, so he doesn't have to sell it to a publisher. I already have a publisher.
Right.
Now it's already published, so he just runs out and gets me interviews and things.
Oh, okay. I understand. Right. Yes.
Isn't it complicated?
It is complicated.
And that's what I've learned in 5 years. Like I've just, since I really got serious about it, that's like my learning curve went.
No kidding. Wow. So now, are you a mentor for other new writers? Like if you have a student, your 20-year-old student, where she was your student, now she kind of reviews your stuff. Does she want to be a writer as well? And then
I think she wants to be an artist.
An artist?
I'll have to ask her again, but
okay.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, I have a friend up in Edmonton. Her name's Christy, and her daughter wants to be a writer. I'll go to conferences like When Words Collide and do panels and things and talk about it. And now I obviously am not an expert, but if
know more than most.
If this is kind of where I've kind of moved up to the middle,
right?
So I know enough that I can give advice,
right?
But I also know that there's still more that I'm going to learn.
Right, exactly. But you've learned much, and so others that are at the bottom of that ladder of knowledge, then you're the go-to gal.
Exactly, because you're not going to learn from the expert.
Right.
You're going to learn from someone just a bit further down the path than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Do you live in by where you teach?
No, I live on the west side here in Lethbridge.
Oh, you live on the west side.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do a lot of driving too.
Yeah, but that's where I daydream. I mean, I focus on the road the entire time.
And you don't distracted driving. You don't look at your cell phone when you're driving or anything.
No, I don't look at my cell phone, but it's a straight highway, and so you can just kind of plan out scenes and while you're focusing.
Exactly. And then do you make some notes as well while you're driving?
Not till I get to school.
Very responsible answer. I have a little thing on my dash that I could just write like 1 or 2 words.
But a few staff members will know that I've run into that building and going, "Don't talk to me," until I
get it down,
and then okay, hi, good morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's like, who did I hear about this? Where she was an author, and she was kind of like when the words came to her, it was like she had to just stop and record it like right now. And if she heard it out in the field, she'd like run home so she could get to a pen and write stuff down.
I have pulled over and written it like on the back of bills and receipts and stuff.
Right.
But it's usually not like when I'm driving I'm gonna like start writing the chapter, but I might get a good idea.
Right.
Like if I get stuck, like great, I wrote my character into this situation and no one in the audience will ever figure out how they're gonna get out of this situation because I don't know how they're gonna get out of this situation. So I just leave it for a few days and hope that something will trigger my brain, and then I'll be in the grocery store. Oh, soup. Oh, this is what they're gonna do.
Nice.
And then you just send a text to yourself or an email, and you're like, okay, she's gonna blow up the thingy.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. That's quite the process you have.
It's complicated.
It is.
Well, and so the Imagine series isn't done.
Right. There's the 4th one.
I kind of left it because I had another. So Reborn, and then the sequel is at my publisher for edits.
The Secret of Reborn.
The sequel, yeah.
Okay.
And then I just 2 days ago Actually, one day ago.
Do you read the freckles? Is that what you do when you look at it? Yeah, okay, nice.
This summer, I wrote the third one and edited it. And it was the first time I ever finished a series. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard because you got to tie all these...
The characters all together.
Everything has to resolve, and it was really thrilling and really hard.
So the characters...
I was like, how do you do this?
That is what a series would have to have. The characters be consistent throughout all 3 books, or all 4 books, right?
Yeah, and you can, in the second book, you can have threads and not resolve them because it's going to be a third. But by the third, you kind of have to finish it. You have to have a good resolution that people don't see coming. And yeah, it was thrilling, but it was really hard.
Wow. Are you going to tackle another series at a later date?
I think all my books are going to end up being series. Because yeah, they're all series.
Well, I guess in one sense, when you've established the characters so well, like the characters so memorable for you and your readers, then that's kind of a little bit nicer segue to the next chapter.
Doesn't this explain why I'm not a poet, though? I can't even write a novel. I have to write a series.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yes. I have a kind of the opposite affliction. I cannot write. If I could get... I only wrote 1 book, I told you, and I think it's I don't know, 60 pages and number 14.
That's a novella.
A novella. Okay, that's what it is. And it was just I got nothing else. I got to wrap this thing up. I got nothing else to say here. Right?
Oh no, university, they would always give you word counts or page counts for your essays.
Yes.
And I'm so concise that I would be back then, but maybe I didn't have enough to say. But if it had to be between 5 and 7 pages. Mine was 4.5, and then you just space it out so it looks like.
So how do we go
now?
How do we go from that to now where you overdo it by double?
Because it's my own stuff.
Oh, right.
Right.
You're choosing what to write about and what they're going to do, and
I only know so much about King Lear.
Right.
But I know everything about a world I made up in my head.
Yes. Wow.
He's laughing at everything I say.
That is very interesting. And do you have other creative pursuits besides your writing? I mean, that's a lot. You spend a lot of time. Well, the writing and the podcast.
I am a clumsy dancer that only can dance if the music's on.
Only dance if the music's on?
Yeah, so I'm with Amina Dance Company with Lizanne, and I do the performance classes because if it's just the exercise ones, I won't go because I'm kind of lazy. But I do the choreography ones. And people are always how can someone as clumsy as you dance perfectly on stage? I'm because it's choreographed and there's music. But the amount of times I've fallen off stage or walked into a wall.
Really?
A lot.
Okay, so
as soon as that music's off.
Is it? And you said Mondays are dancing nights? Is that what you said?
Yeah, last year was Tuesdays, but this year's... I have a daughter and I love her. And... I used to dance 2 or 3 nights a week, but now instead of dancing an hour a night, a couple times a week, I just dance 3 hours one night a week. So I only miss 1 bedtime.
Right. Makes sense.
Except that's 3 hours of dancing in a row.
Right. That would get a little tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And what did you call what was the dance troupe called again? Or the dance?
Amina Dance Company.
Amina Dance Company. Okay.
Yeah, the studio's 2 blocks that way.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in September. I think we have been split. All our classes have been split in half. And you're an A group and a B group. So half the group will be in the studio 1 week, and then the other half will be learning through Zoom.
Okay.
And then we'll switch because we have to have enough spacing and stuff.
Right.
So, but.
Well, that sounds like a pretty common sense type of a solution. That should work, right? Yeah. So long as I guess the people who are participating via Zoom get anything out of it, right? So, but I think they should.
We did some show trials and stuff last year, or in June, kind of through Zoom, and it went okay. She was in the studio alone, and then we were all on Zoom at home. Although my daughter joined in a few times, and some people liked her dancing better.
My daughter's 34. 34. Anyways, but a couple of Christmases ago, she came home and she was practicing some dance routine, and I took a video of her and then posted on Facebook without her permission. And she didn't like that very much. She wasn't very happy with me, but it was really good. She did a great job with it. So, but anyways.
I am very grateful that Facebook and social media was not around when I was a kid, because I constantly singing dancing, putting on plays, anything. Like constant. And if I had to watch those back now, that would need some therapy or some liquor.
Well, I can hardly wait. I'm taking we have like the old style VHS ones, and I'm getting all converted to digital things. So I'm going to be able to send her some real good zingers for what she was like. She had like a thing about doing modeling, and her friends would come model, and I'd be the videographer, right? And they do their little anyways. So I'm going to take some of those and try embarrassing the crap out of her. Like that's still my job, right?
We did do a few with my daughter when we were in quarantine, like the Eye of the Tiger.
Oh yes,
and we did videos of her like running and like pretending to box and stuff, and they were so.
This is when your husband was a little concerned that you were trying to turn her into a child star.
He was very well. I didn't show anyone except her grandparents.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think of stuff to do. I'm used to being busy. Teaching is like busy, go, and I organize my extracurriculars. So when dance ends, Dragon Boat starts, then back to dance. I like being busy, and I did not like not being busy, and I didn't handle it well.
Hey, back to the Dragon Boats. Like, so, how do you train? How do you train for? Do you do gym training? For Dragon
we call that dry land.
Dry land. Okay, yeah. So what does that mean when you're doing?
So we'll go to the Y, and we'll there's two parts. You'll do like cardio and weights and stuff, but we'll literally set up a pretend boat with like the little stools they have there and like the elastic bands, and we'll sit in our boat, and I'll show them how you're physically supposed to sit in a boat, because you don't sit normally. You have to kind of lean, and we teach them the paddle commands so that
you lean to the outside so you can get more. Yeah.
So you're up on. I can't do it without falling over, but you're up on one hip, and then you teach them all the paddle commands so that once you're out on the water, you don't have to spend all that time going. Right. Paddles up means lift your paddle. Take it away means go. Right. So you do all that on the water. Do all the safety stuff. So that when you're on the water, you can just now paddle. Right. Because we live in southern Alberta. We have a really short season, right?
No kidding. Yeah.
We're on the water maybe end of May if the ice is gone. Right. So then June, and then the festival's either last week in June or first week in July. Right. But my season goes longer because except for last year, obviously, because we didn't have any Dragon Boat. The youth coach for Dragon Boat Association of Southern Alberta, so I'm coaching the kids, and then I have other teams and things, and I volunteer. So my season goes a bit longer, but it's still only June, July, August.
Right. And you did 18 Dragon Boat years?
This would have been my 18th. Yeah. I served when I was 20, so it's pretty easy to keep track of the number.
Yes, yeah. Got it.
Technically, I missed one festival back when I was in my 20s because I went with Girl Guides of Canada to a big international camp out in Guelph, Ontario, and I taught dragon boating there. Oh. So technically I missed a festival, but I was still
teaching dragon boat, but there instead. Yeah. Got it. And are you do the Girl Guides as well?
I haven't in the last few years. I did it. I was a brownie. I was a Girl Guide. I was a Pathfinder. I was a Ranger. I was a junior leader. I was a brownie leader for 10 years. And then just something had to give. I love being busy. Yeah. As you could probably tell. But something just had to give. I couldn't fit everything in. And so that one went, but my daughter's only a year away from being old enough to be in Spark, so I'll probably get back into it.
That's at like age 5? Yeah. Is that what that is?
Unless they change it in the last, but no, I think she'll be in Sparks, 5 years old. Yeah. Okay. So I'll probably get back into it. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I have more time in the summer to do volunteer. I used to just, even after I stopped being a leader, I would just go and do like help at summer camps and provincial camps and stuff. Right. And that was better, but I just ran out of time. Yeah. I had a kid. Ooh.
You just love working with kids, eh?
I love kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome.
My daughter just had her last sport ball class, and for the last class they brought out the parachute. And they needed an adult to join in, and no one else kind of wanted to. I was like, I'll do it! So it's just me and the coach Ryan, and then all the kids, and I'm like, woohoo! How do you not have kids?
Exactly.
And a parachute.
Exactly. I don't understand what you did with the parachute. You were making it go up and down. You
had balls in the middle, and we try to get them.
Oh, okay, got it.
But have you ever seen 4, 5, and 6-year-olds with a parachute?
I imagine it is.
It is equivalent in joy to just bubbles.
Just bubbles?
Bubbles, parachutes, that's all kids need.
Yeah. Speaking of bubbles, not this year, the year before, they had the Street Seeds Festival Lethbridge Family Services did at the NMAC Center. And they had one of those bubble maker machines. Oh my. There was a couple times I just cracked up. There was this girl, I don't know, she's probably like 5, little Asian girl, and she's just running after the bubbles like crazy, and it was just so much fun. And then she'd catch one and be a big, it was a
yeah, my daughter doesn't like really blowing them. I blow them and she pops them. And one time my best friend, Rachel, was babysitting, and she was trying to keep her busy so I could just do something on the computer. She like nearly passed out because she's like just was blowing bubbles for like 20 minutes straight. And I was like, dude, it is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
She's like, like she doesn't rest. I'm like, it's bubbles. What kid is going to say, no, let's take a break?
Yes.
You stop blowing bubbles when you run out.
Exactly. Have you ever seen the big ones where you dip it and then you run and then they make the big bubbles?
I
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
I got her a sky bubble maker where you just pull the head back and it runs out batteries and it's blow bubble. I'm like,
oh.
Mommy's smart.
That is thinking. That's thinking. Yeah. Cool. Okay, we like kids. You're very creative. You're a great teacher, obviously, because you're creative. You like to be busy. People should buy your book.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's make my next royalty check $108.
Let's do it. Okay, so they would just go to Amazon and they would just put in Reborn and boom, you come up.
Yeah.
You're the only Reborn.
Well, you never know what you're going to get. Go to type in Jenna Green. Green with the E on the end.
Right, Jenna Green.
And then Reborn.
Reborn.
But Jenna Green, and then you can get all my books. There's also a Celtic singer
called Jenna Green.
Jenna Green, yeah. So don't buy her CDs. I'm sure she's great.
I'm sure she is too.
Yeah. But my website, jennagreen.ca.
And what will people find on your website? If I went to jennagreens.ca right now,
you would see that I haven't updated it in a while.
But it's got some nice pictures and some old text.
I go to Facebook and Twitter. That's better.
Yes.
Or to Quill and Ink. That's the podcast.
Quill and Ink is the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So tell me, who was the last person you interviewed on Quill and Ink?
We just interviewed podcasters. It was like a podcasting episode. So we interviewed Tim Niedermeyer. I'm forgetting the other one. The Naked podcaster, Jen Taylor.
Okay.
And she showed up clothed to our interview, which was nice. And then...
okay, I would have been disappointed. She's like, that's not truth in advertising right there.
I forgot the third one. But
okay.
he does the Stephen King podcast.
The Stephen King podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and you did this all like Zoom, is that what it was?
Yeah, we did through Zoom.
It was through Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's on like SoundCloud, Spotify, but we do it on Zoom and then because it's on YouTube as well.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have like a lot of regular viewers for your podcast?
I hope so. We've only been doing it, we started in January.
Oh, so pretty new then. So
yeah, and then 3 months in COVID hit, so no one was driving to work anymore. So who knows? Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I think you are episode number 25 of 1,000 Ways.
Woo!
So once a week for that long, that's like 6 months, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and I actually came into Jesse and said, hey, Jesse, I want to get some promo about the Alberta Summer Games because it was supposed to be in 2020. Right now it's deferred. So it's going to be the 2020 Alberta Summer Games in 2021 is the plan. But anyways, when I did that, he said, well, why don't you just do your own show? I said, all right. Okay, let's do it. So anyways, so.
It's hard planning for stuff in the future. I'm on the committee for WordBridge.
Yes.
Which is Lethbridge's Writers Conference.
Right.
So we're planning for February and everyone keeps, I'm contacting writers and things and people and they're like, is it going to be online or is it going to be in person? And I'm like, you ask good questions.
Right.
So it's really too early to tell.
Yeah.
So it's hard planning for stuff like that.
It is. I know back to Rotary, we've been trying to do live meetings. And the first live meeting we go to that night, the first live meeting we had was at the end of June, I had a sore throat that night. I thought, oh, shit. So anyways, I call 811. And of course, they say, oh, you're quarantined now until you get a test, right? And then so we thought, all right. So we started staggering them every 2 weeks so that if somebody did show up at that live meeting and did, in fact, was diagnosed with COVID, then we can, take some remedial action.
We're kind of lucky there's only 5 of us on the committee.
Oh, yes.
So we meet at Gull Gardens, we sit outside and we sit apart.
Yes, yeah.
We can still all hear each other.
Yes.
So we're kind of blessed in that way.
Exactly. So that's the committee that does it, WordBridge.
Yeah. This is my first year on the committee. So
okay.
But they gave me the job of booking all the panels and all the writers and all the illustrators. So
Okay.
wish me luck.
No kidding, eh? Wow. And then that's going to be in February, but you just don't know if it's going to be live or...
Right now we're planning. We've booked the Multicultural Center. We're booking authors, and we're hoping.
Right.
We're just hoping.
Yeah, I know that back to the Rotary thing, we are doing it where we're capping them and then we do a Zoom and the live one at the same time. So the people who will not come because of their vulnerabilities that they have, then they just watch from Zoom, and then at least we can kind of keep them engaged that way. Hey, so
yeah, Calgary has one of the biggest writing conferences in probably North America, and it was just last weekend, and it was online, and I did a few sessions through Zoom and things, and people seem to like it. So I mean, it's not. You miss the human interaction. I miss like talking to people, just sitting at a table and being like, "Hey, who are you?" and just meeting people you've never met before.
Really, you're so shy. I can't understand how you can chatting with people like that. Random people, just having a conversation. Yeah.
And then so I miss that.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I bet you're a hugger too. Is that right?
Not since COVID.
Not since COVID. I know. Me too. And I'm like an awesome hugger, but no hugging, right?
No
just
hugging.
like, oh man, I've been thinking about, getting one of those, what are those suits where you're like, they're all one color? Morph suits. Make it a morph suit hugging day.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be fun? Just,
nice.
I don't know.
They say since you can't hug anymore and you can't high five and you can't handshake, you can just bow or curtsy. Or
this. Do one of those, right? Like that's, I don't know. Not the same.
I just want people to bow to me.
Bowing? Yeah, I understand your point. Yeah. Hey, it's 7:54. We're just like zooming right along here.
Does this mean my husband put my kid to bed?
Well, I don't know. Should we call him and ask him?
I feel bad because I always do stories.
Oh yes.
And I have all the voices.
I was just gonna say.
I have the actions, and then when he tries to do it, she's like, "That's not how Mom does it."
Yeah.
And then she picks like a shorter book, and then he'll read it, and then she'll be like, let's just skip the second one. Like, and then she'll mock him. She'll be like, the next night she'll be like, "Daddy read it like this," and she'll imitate him, and he's like, "I can hear you." And it's not really fair. I mean, he's a great reader. He's a fantastic dad. He's just not like.
But I get
normal, and I'm not.
I get the part about making up the different voices for the characters.
Well,
I love doing
even
that.
if he makes up a voice,
it's
not going to be the right one because Mommy made up a different voice.
Right. Okay. Very.
She'll even get mad at me if I change it.
Really?
Oh yeah. She's like, the bear goes grr, not roar. I'm like, oh sorry.
Man,
She doesn't forget anything.
She's a critic, eh? Wow.
She's precocious. I tell her to use her powers for good, not evil.
Nice. Good.
She will either be a world leader or a world dictator. It's one of the two.
Okay, and we're hoping for world leader is what we're hoping for.
Fingers crossed.
Nice. I don't know what. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna sing a song that I just learned. Okay, I really like this song. It's by the band of Heathens. You ever heard of these guys?
I fail name that tune every time.
Do you? All right. Okay. Just wait. I got to think about how it goes now because I just learned it. Yeah. Okay. So it's like this. When you think you've seen it all through the tears in your eyes. Oh. Your head hanging low, the moon on the rise. Well, I think of you, Lord, I pray for you. Let your days be like Sundays, let your nights lay you down. Okay, forget that song. Obviously, I don't remember that one. Another song that I just learned is by Delbert McClinton. Okay, so this one goes like this. I went down to the river, stood by the shore. Seems like the devil's always trying to get in my door. And just when I think I can't take anymore, here he comes again, my friend. He keeps sending me angels from up on high. He keeps sending me angels to keep me from crying. He keeps sending me angels, sweet and true. He keeps sending me angels just like you. Went up on that mountain, a face to the wind, amazed at the number of times that I've sinned. And all the enemies that should have been friends, here it comes again, my friend. He keeps sending me angels from up on high. He keeps sending me angels to keep me from crying. He keeps sending me angels, sweet and true. He keeps sending me angels just like you. Some say it's coming, I say it's already here. Learning to love through the joy and the fear. And when I look in your eyes, everything is so clear. Here it comes again, my friend. He keeps sending me angels from up on high. He keeps sending me angels to keep me from crying. He keeps sending me angels, sweet and true. He keeps sending me angels just like you. He keeps sending me angels just like you. Anyways, thanks very much for being my guest. That was awesome. Appreciated it. And I hope some people go on and buy your book. That'd be good. Jenna wants to get a royalty check that's more than, what was it, $108?
That's our goal.
The goal is 108. Come on. Help her pull that off.
Buy it in print, not ebook, then I get more money.
All right, buy it in print. Yeah, there you go. And then does that mean do they just print like one when you ask for a print one? Is that how it works?
No, Amazon's got a bunch.
Amazon's got a bunch. Okay, cool. All right. So thanks for coming. All right, Jesse, get us out of here, sir.